Hey folks, we got a call from the neighbor. The corn is ready. Let's go get some. Well, we've arrived at the corn patch. We just got to go turn the electric fence off so we can get through it. You got to go through and search for the ears that are ready. That one looks pretty good. You can see right here this fungus is called corn smut, and it's a delicacy. The Indians used to eat that. Supposed to be really good. It's like kind of like mushrooms. And when you pick an ear of corn, grab it, twist it, and it comes right off. Have any luck, babe?
Yep, got a whole basket full.
Sweet. I'd say we're done. All right, we are ready to rock. All right, we got the electric fence turned back on. We found it in the off position, so when I originally thought I was turning it off, I turned it on, and when I touched the fence, it got a little zap. So I had to go back and turn the switch back the other way. They got that electric fence there to keep the deer out of there. The wire's so thin that they really don't see it when they're wandering around at night feeding. But they know when they bump it and they run away, so they can't see it, so they don't know how high to jump to get over it. And after they get bit with it, they go the other direction pretty quick. Can't beat those Nebraska sunsets. The camera doesn't do it justice, of course. Alright, just got home. We put the corn down in the basement. I'm going to start shucking. Kelly's getting the freeze dryer pans ready because she's going to freeze dry all this corn. We're going to keep probably 4 ears for fresh eating. And we're not only going to save the corn, we're going to save the silk from the corn as well, because Kelly's going to freeze dry the silk, and the silk has medicinal properties. I'll let her tell you what all it helps. Now, in case you didn't know, every kernel of corn in this ear is attached to one strand of this silk. And that's how those kernels get pollinated and form kernels. So if you ever find a kernel missing in your ear, it's because the silk did not get pollinated. Now, the way to spot sweet corn, you see this ear of corn has leaves on it. If it's regular cow corn, the ears will not have these leaves. It'll just be a smooth ear of corn like this side looks, with no leaves on it. Now, back when I was young, the farmers used to plant the sweet corn in the cow corn so it would be hidden, so people driving by wouldn't know that there was sweet corn in there. The problem with that is, say you plant 6 rows of sweet corn, the outer rows will get cross-pollinated with the cow corn. And you'll see if you pick those outer rows, the corn will be speckled, because there'll be some kernels that are cow corn that have been pollinated by cow corn, and there'll be some kernels that are pollinated by the tassels on the sweet corn. And the tassels that you see on the very top of the corn stalk, when it's time, that stuff from the tassels rain down on the silk, and that's what pollinates the ear, is that the dust or the pollen from the tassels falling down on the silk of the ear. Now, if you have 2 varieties of sweet corn, you can get a neat effect. Say you have a white sweet corn and a yellow sweet corn. As long as they have similar days to harvest, you can interplant every other row, and your corn will come out speckled like that, white and yellow. It's a nice presentation. And there's some corn that you can buy that's already speckled like that. But if you're wanting to do that, make sure your corn has a similar days to harvest. If not, say you have one corn that's 85 days to harvest and one corn that's 90 days to harvest, you would plant the 90-day corn first and then 5 days later plant the 85-day corn. And then they'll tassel and pollinate around the same time, and you can get your speckled corn. Now, there was a big outfit out in California named Foster Farms that my dad and I both worked for, and they did milk, chickens, and all of that. So on the farming operation where I worked, I was an irrigator, and I irrigated all the fields around, and they always hid the corn, the sweet corn, and they'd go out and pick the sweet corn for all the big shots up at the main office. Well, because I irrigated the corn, I always found the sweet corn because I was out in it. And you can tell because the sweet corn is shorter than the cow corn, and plus the ears have leaves on them. But I would always know where the sweet corn was, so I'd always make sure that we had some sweet corn at home and it wasn't all reserved for the high muckety mucks. Now, I had this irrigator's job my last year of high school, and we would work 12-hour shifts, noon to midnight and midnight to noon. Well, I would go to school my senior year, and I'd have my government class that I'd take in the morning, and then teacher's assistant in another class, and then I would leave school at about 10 o'clock and go to work. I'd report to work at noon, work till midnight, go home and go to bed and be right back up for school the next morning. Now, when I signed up for work experience, you had to sign a deal where you would work over, I think it was 6 hours a day for student labor. So I had that doubled. And then you also were limited on the hours per week. Well, the ranch that I irrigated, it took 8 days to go all the way across the ranch. So by the time we were done irrigating, we had to start over again where we had started before. So once we were done, it was like painting the Golden Gate Bridge. Once you're done, you got to start over. See, there's all that silk we're going to save. See how it goes down to every kernel of corn? Isn't that neat? So we just pull it off and save it. Now, when Ramona was little, she loved corn season because we would pick the corn, and I used to babysit her a lot. She would get one of the small ears of corn like this, and she'd make believe it was her little dolly with little arms and a hairdo, and she would carry that little piece of corn around like her little doll. Cutest thing ever. She loved eating the corn too. I could peel her an ear right in the field, and she would sit there and eat that whole cob of corn right in the field uncooked. And good corn you can do that with. You don't even have to cook it. Especially if you get it in the early stage before it gets tough. Get it in what's called the milk stage, is when you put your fingernail on a kernel and smash it and it like milk comes out of it. That's the best time to pick your corn. The silk is just barely dry. It's not super brown and dry. Corn's really good. Now, another piece of useless information you probably don't need. The rows of kernels, if you count them around the ear, they always come out to an even number. There's never an odd number of rows. Pretty amazing, huh? Wonder how they figure that out. So Kelly's got the freeze dryer ready to go. So as soon as we get this corn shucked, and off the cob. It's going to go straight into the freeze dryer. Now I forgot what you told me, babe. What does the corn silk benefit? What health benefits does it have?
Heart and kidneys. It's a natural antibiotic for UTIs. Lowers blood sugar, lowers blood pressure, and one more thing.
Pretty amazing stuff.
Cholesterol.
Lowers cholesterol?
Yeah.
So you're going to freeze dry the silk and turn it into like a powder, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to put it in like capsules?
Capsules.
So Kelly has, big old worm. Chickens like that. But Kelly's got these, she makes her own supplements. So she's got these plastic capsules and a little...
They're not plastic.
Well, they kind of look like plastic. But she's got a little tray that you put them in to fill your capsules. It's pretty neat. What other capsules do you make, babe?
Cinnamon, magnesium, what's my other one?
Not sure. Do you like turmeric? I heard that's good for you.
Turmeric.
Turmeric.
There's one for respiratory. I can't think of its name right now.
Do you do the echinacea? You turn into a tincture, right?
Yeah.
Pretty handy lady. Makes her own supplements. It's another Pampered Chef tool. All right, Kelly's doing the last few ears over there, then she'll be ready to put her trays in the freeze dryer. This is our silk harvest here in this bowl. Pretty cool. Corn going in. Got 2 full trays. Looks like she's going to get 2 trays of silk. And then we have some more peas and stuff from the garden. And then we have excess in the freezer we can throw in there too, just to make a full load. So Kelly's going to get all this stuff going. We'll bring you back when it's all coming out of the freeze dryer. We'll show you the end result. Alright, we're back at the freeze dryer. It's been about a day and a half. Let's check out what the corn looks like. Oh, that's gorgeous, beautiful yellow corn. Very nice. Kelly's going to start off putting some in jars. Taste some of this stuff. Got that beautiful sweet corn flavor. And it's light and crunchy. That'd be a fantastic snack just like it is. Be really good with something like that popcorn seasoning on it. Crazy good. Now we can use this in soups, right? Just dump some in soups. It'll rehydrate right in the soup. Like that ramen soup we want to make. And it'll probably rehydrate very quickly. Taking the air out of the jar. You put the oxygen absorbing packets in the bottom of the jar before you fill it. Out of that one batch, we had 3 quarts of corn, and then Kelly packaged some up for the people that gave us the corn so they can try the freeze-dried corn. Here's the peas that we did. They came out looking real nice too. That'd be good for making like split pea soup, I bet. Those would work fantastic. Here's our corn silk. Still looks just like corn silk. Now she's brought her Ninja blender down here. She's going to put it all in there. We're going to turn all that into a powder. So Kelly's loading her capsules into her holder. They kind of automatically go in round side down. Okay, she's got all her capsules loaded. So then you just dump the powder in on top of the little filler thing there. And then you just scrape it around until all your capsules are full. And then you put the lids on them. Thing does 100 capsules at a time. Once the capsules are full for the first time, you dump out the excess, and then there's a tool that packs them down inside. It's got all the little dowel things, and it pushes the powder down into the capsules, and then you add more. Dump that back on top and scrape it around again. Now Kelly is loading the caps into the loader, getting ready to put the caps on her capsules. Alright, she's got all of her lids in there. Now you just press down and it all comes together. And there's your filled capsule. So we're going to weigh all these and figure out how many milligrams are in each capsule. So we've weighed all the capsules. It came out to 27 grams. So there's 1,000 milligrams in a gram, so that's 27,000 milligrams divided by 100, because there's 100 capsules. So that's right around 270 milligrams per capsule. And it's not exact because the capsules themselves do weigh a little bit, but it's close enough. Now, checking online, if you're using corn silk as a supplement, they recommend around 400 milligrams a day. So that would be 2 capsules, split it up, one in the morning, one in the evening, whatever. But of course, you're going to consult your doctor before you do any of this. Don't take our word for it. Everybody's body's different. So check with your physician, make sure that it's something that they're okay with before you take any kind of supplements. All bottled up, ready to go. Kelly's going to do another batch. Meanwhile, what I'm working on is the next batch of stuff going in the freeze dryer. Kelly purchased 4 rotisserie chickens, so I'm going to debone all of this chicken, and she's going to freeze dry some chicken, and she's taking out some ground beef also to freeze dry. And then I'm going to take all of the bones and everything, the carcass from this stuff, and we're going to make a really good stock with it. And then in the following freeze dryer batch, she's going to freeze dry the chicken stock that I make with all that. Kelly just said she's also going to do shrimp too. So our goal here is to make like stuff we can use in like a ramen soup mix type thing, because she's already got some really cool ramen noodles that she had ordered. And we can put it together as a package, use these freeze-dried vegetables, the freeze-dried meat, and the freeze-dried stock. Have it all in one package. All you got to do is dump it in some hot water and you got some really good soup. So that's what our experiment's going to be. I don't see why it's not going to work. So I'm going to get after these chickens. Got our first chicken boned out. And usually when people buy rotisserie chicken, all this goes in the garbage. But do yourself a favor, folks. Don't throw that away. There's so much goodness left in that you can boil out of it. Even all the gelatin that was in the bottom of the rotisserie pan. Save all that. You sock that away in the freezer. And someday when you want to make soup, you can make liquid gold out of that. Alright, I'm done deboning chicken. Got a big bowl of chicken. Just needs to be chopped up now before we put it in the freeze dryer. Kelly is harvesting lemon zest that she's also going to freeze dry. This is leftover lemon peels from making lemonade yesterday. Lemon zest adds just a fantastic lemon flavor to anything you put it in. So I'm going to go over and start putting stuff in my stock pot. Alright, got all my chicken parts in there, and I even got one that I had saved in the freezer. Anybody that makes stock is going to be really jealous of this pot right here. Alright, we're headed out into the garden. I'm going to grab some onions, and then we'll get some herbs for the stock as well. We got about almost a ½ inch of rain overnight. The garden just looks beautiful after a rain. Everything looks so vibrant. Walk by here. Got another giant head of cauliflower down here to pick. This cauliflower and broccoli just keeps on going. We've got more big side shoots of broccoli that need to be picked. A whole bunch of it. Our Thai basil's going bananas over here. We need to get some of that freeze dried too. Got a couple ripe tomatoes we're going to take in. Going to have some of that for lunch. Alright, remember the onions that were volunteer from the bulbs we missed last year? I pulled all those up. We'll even use some of the good green tops. And then we've got oregano. We've got two different kinds of sage. We've got some Thai basil. And of course our tomatoes for lunch. So let's get this inside. We'll get it trimmed up and thrown in the stock pot. By then it'll be lunchtime. Kelly's in the process of cubing up all the chicken. Ruby's been over here patiently watching, waiting for something to hit the floor. Meanwhile, our stock pot is ready to go. I had some carrots and celery that were on their way out in the fridge. We chopped up all those onions, the onion tops. We've got our oregano and our sage and our Thai basil. There's even some old cauliflower in there because we could fortify stock with just about anything. And then there's enough seasoning on that rotisserie chicken where we're not going to have to really add salt and pepper in here, but we will taste it later for spice before we're all done. So the only thing left is to fill this full of water and get it onto the boil. We had a couple of heads of garlic that have been sitting around for a while, so I just cut them in half crossways. We're going to throw it in the pot, skin and all, it don't matter. Alright, isn't that absolutely gorgeous? This stock with all those bones in there, it's going to come out like jello. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be fantastic for the freeze dryer. It's going to smell really good here in a little bit too. So you've seen me make stock on this channel for a long time, so we're not going to show you the end result of that. But we will bring you back when we're putting this all together in our kind of our special little ramen package that we're going to make, and you'll be able to see the end result on all this stuff. So video's probably getting a little long too. So hope you enjoyed hanging out with us. We're getting a lot of stuff done here on the homestead. Kelly's knocking it out of the park with this freeze dryer. I'm so proud of the work she's done with that thing. So till next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you guys. Come back and see us again here on the farm.